Welcome to Out of the Woods Adventures. We're in Canada.
Perfect.
You got Mom covered in snow, Dad.
Welcome back to Out of the Woods. Packing up the Jeep for another adventure. We are heading back up to Canada to Jasper and Banff for kind of a long weekend just to enjoy some of that winter wonderland beauty. I just got back from Iceland. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet for that winter beauty, which was insane. But hoping to match that with some pretty cool stuff we have on the plan for this trip. I get asked a lot about how we pack a family of 4 inside a Jeep. So I want to show you our system. So for this trip, we're not using our normal setup. Normally I have a full cabinet in here with a fridge, a bunch of drawers. We are packing this one a little differently this time. I built this new box to kind of house some camera gear in there, hiking poles, ice skates. We got chairs back behind there. We're planning on doing some snowshoeing, so I got all of our snowshoes, backpack, bonfire pit, all of our rescue stuff, all of our luggage is all up there. In the Jeep, we are using every square inch. Besides having just the normal stuff here, I always use this little cavity right here for jackets on both sides. I also use that little gap. I got a liner for me, another big jacket for one of us, using that whole space. Sometimes I'll run one of those, like a screen up here that typically is meant for sunshade, but that actually works really well to stuff stuff up on top of that. We also utilize every square inch down underneath. I have my tripod, flashlight, water bottle. We'll have more stuff like shoes and stuff packed down there before we leave as well as stuff packed down there. First aid, hand warmers, toe warmers. Got my deflate kit over here. Yeah, just using every square inch as best as possible. Trying out a new system for my camera here with this whole mount from my Insta360. We got this new tent from Ironman 4x4 to try out, as well as their awning. My wife just left to pick up the kids from school. We're taking them out a little bit early today to head out. And then tomorrow we are gonna meet up with Rugged Destination. Excited to do this trip with them. If you don't follow them, follow them. And yeah, here we go. After all the planning and prep that goes into a trip like this, it always feels good to finally hit the road, especially on a beautiful sunny day like this. After what felt like no time at all, we are already at the Canadian border, which meant 2 things. 1, our trip is really about to begin, and we're only about 30 minutes away from our first destination. That's a beautiful hike up to a waterfall. It's also a very pleasant surprise when you get to the border and there's no line. So after a quick border crossing, we're all in good spirits and excited for our hike. One tip we've learned that has made road trips so much better, especially with kids, is breaking up long drives with stops, whether it's at parks or hikes like this. It helps the kids get some energy out, as well as the adults, and just makes for a more overall enjoyable trip. Cascade Falls is located about an hour and a half east of downtown Vancouver, BC.
Dad, what kind of angle is it getting me at?
Everything.
That's not a good thing. Whoa!
It's a gentle half-mile round-trip hike up to a beautiful waterfall and an incredible suspension bridge. It really is a great hike for the whole family. Beautiful. What do you think, my skin? But she makes sure that you can't see her face. That's the trick of a 12-year-old. Oh, she's showing her face. We are lucky. It really is crazy how different two kids can be. While one could barely walk out on the bridge, which is totally understandable, here the other one is just jumping around with not a care in the world. You're crazy, dude. Well, that was a really good first stop. Cascade Falls is beautiful. But now we're gonna hit the road and we are headed up to Kamloops. That's where our hotel is for the night. And then off to Jasper, or actually Lake Louise tomorrow. Let's see how fast you are. Wait, I didn't say go yet. I didn't say go. All right, ready? No. Set. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's kind of fast. Hey, slow down. That's really cheap. Good morning. So first stop today, Tim Hortons, and guess who's here? Rugged destination is right in sight. So we're gonna go grab some breakfast and then head off to Abraham Lake. But first, I have a little story about Angèle, which is quite funny. So for those that don't know, she is Canadian, and as a Canadian, they love Tim Hortons. And they love their Timbits, which we in the States call donut holes. When she first moved to the States in middle school, she didn't realize they weren't called Timbits everywhere, and so her first time going to get donuts with some friends, she asked for some Timbits. And as you can probably imagine, the guy behind the counter was quite confused, not having a clue what Timbits were. Eventually, after going back and forth a couple times, Angèle finally just pointed at the donuts, and she goes, "I want these, Timbits." And everyone kind of chuckled and said, "Those are called donut holes." And she's like, "I don't know, I thought they were called Timbits. That's what we call them in Canada." It's one of those stories about my wife that I absolutely love. It just goes perfectly with her sweet, innocent personality. But now, back to the road trip. The drive from Kamloops to Abraham Lake will take us about 6.5 hours. Fortunately, the drive is absolutely beautiful, so it's not so bad at all. Well, unfortunately, that happened. I think we got carried away by the views of the mountains, and we're going a little too fast. He said he clocked us going much faster than we were actually going, so that's a little suspect, but we got pulled over. No fun, but it happens sometimes. It's beautiful, so we're gonna keep going. The good thing, though, about getting a ticket in Canada compared to in the States is that a ticket in Canada, from what I have researched, does not go on your record. So that, along with the fact that the ticket was for $175, but if you pay it within 30 days, you get a $25 discount. On top of that, there's the exchange rate, which is also helpful. So at the end of the day, I'll pay about $125, and that's just my mistake for going a little bit too fast. But we are finally here at Abraham Lake. So we made it out to Abraham Lake. The only bummer is that unlike last time when I was here a year ago, it now has signs saying that we can't come out on the ice, which is really weird. So I'm not really sure what that's about, if it's a time of the year thing or what. So we stopped just shy of the ice. Still beautiful. I am a little bummed that we're not going to get to do all the frozen donuts and everything. But yeah, so we're going to get a couple quick photos and then hopefully go down to where the frozen bubbles are and walk out on the ice there. All right, we made it to, I'm not really sure what the spot's called. Actually, I have no idea. Let's say, oh, we made it to Hoodoo Creek Trailhead. If you come out to this area and you're wanting to see the frozen bubbles, it is, from what I found over the years, the best spot. So, winter's been weird this year. So hopefully there are some bubbles. I'm a little nervous that we're not going to see anything. But either way, it's beautiful out here. So it's a good day no matter what. Is it a little windy, Munchkin? What are you doing? The wind here usually is pretty crazy, but this time was definitely on the severe side. With wind gusts, I had to guess hitting around 50 or 60 miles an hour. Definitely enough wind to make it a little bit unpleasant to be out in and to blow you off your feet sometimes. Well, unfortunately, it's very slick. I hadn't put my microspikes on yet, but unfortunately there are no bubbles, or it's not safe to find them anyways. We talked to a guy that was coming down, or going up and coming down. He was out here yesterday and actually fell through the ice. Fortunately, it's only a couple feet deep where he was at, but it's just weird when it's not safe. Now I know why they had the other area blocked off for driving on. It's not safe, unfortunately. So I've always come in January, so February is just too late, especially with the late warm winter. After we were done getting whiplashed, it was back on the road. We had about a 3-hour drive to get up to Jasper with stops included. Well, we had a really good dinner tonight at the Jasper Brewing Company. Always love this place. The owner took care of us. We had kind of a spotty meal last time we were here, just with a couple little issues, but totally care of us because I talked to him about that from last time. So yeah, this place is good. We had a great burger tonight, and now it's time to go back to the hotel, get some sleep because we're really tired. Hey, buddy, it's snowing. Can't really see it on the camera. Oh, there you go.
A little bit of snow got in there.
Yeah, it's snow. That's pretty cool, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
It'll make for a really pretty day. Good morning. Got breakfast. That hotel, Mount Robson Inn, is great because not only is it a nice hotel, but they have a fantastic, big buffet breakfast included in the cost. So that always helps with the overall budget on trips like this. Whenever you can get hotels that have included breakfast. But now we are heading out to Mink Canyon. And I've done this now a couple different times. You hike down to a canyon, which is normally a river in this kind of deep slot in the winter. It completely freezes over. And so you can hike up this canyon, and it feels like you're in a slot canyon, but you're standing on a frozen river. So it's a pretty cool experience. Hopefully it's been cold enough and the river is frozen over to where it's safe to go on. Now, after Abraham Lake yesterday, I'm not really too confident in anything as far as ice goes. But I talked to someone that said as of a few days ago or a week ago, it was frozen over. So hopefully that is still the case. But first, Patrick and I are missing something from yesterday. Donuts. After he'd taken his turn, taking a crack at a few donuts, it was time for me to go. An important note here, turn off your traction control because it ruins all the fun having.
Mom covered in snow, Dad.
That video is going to be awesome.
As awesome as the video is, my wife did not find that as funny as we did. But she's a good sport, and we moved on. Oh, I wonder where Kira is. Where's Kira? Mink Canyon is located just 15 minutes outside of downtown Jasper, and it is the deepest canyon in Jasper National Park. There are a couple miles of hiking all around this park with 6 different bridges that give you incredible views looking down over the gorge. There you go, Munchkin. Made it down to the bottom of the canyon. In the winter, Mink Canyon is especially cool to visit because what normally is a river is now a frozen pathway through an incredible slot canyon. There are definitely dangers here involved with the ice potentially not being thick enough, so if you're not experienced in this kind of situation, there are tours that you can take from downtown Jasper to take away any fear and worry of the conditions. But I definitely recommend it if you're going to be in Jasper in the winter. This canyon is so cool. Look at that waterfall. This fun, buddy? You gotta do the fun dance, always. This is also a very popular spot for ice climbers, as there's multiple waterfalls down this gorge that make the perfect opportunity to do this in a beautiful setting. How was that?
That was cool.
That was really cool. How was it, buddy?
Good.
Yeah? Did you like walking in a frozen river?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Are you tired?
Yeah. Hey, it's snowing.
But it's snowing out. It's so pretty.
It's getting in my face.
It's getting your face. Uh-oh. But it's so pretty, buddy. That canyon was super cool. I've been there a few times, and it never ceases to amaze me. It's just a beautiful, beautiful canyon. So I'm glad that the ice worked out and we were able to do it. And next on the agenda, I'm not really sure. We were going to do a hike to the bottom of the glacier, but it's a little bit later in the day than we had planned on starting it. And I think the kids are all tired. So we might go for option B, which I'm not sure that is yet, but we'll figure it out. Kira thinks we're going to Lake Louisiana. Is that a good place to go, Munchkin? Lake Louisiana? Apparently there's lakes here I've never heard of. Like Lake Louisiana.
Lake.
Hey Kira,
What?
I need to know more about Lake Louisiana.
No.
Can you tell me about it?
Figured out.
Can you tell me about it? I need to know. Is it a cool lake? Is it blue?
Nope.
Is it frozen?
It's pink.
Are there dragons?
Yes.
I want to know all the things.
It's a pink lake.
I want to know all the things.
It's a pink lake.
A pink? Ooh, we are in for a treat, folks. Kira knows about a pink lake in the Canadian Rockies.
There's dragons and unicorns.
After hiking around, we had developed an appetite, so we decided to try out this Waffle House in downtown Jasper that I have never been to before. And I am very happy to say it was delicious. If you are in Jasper and you're wanting breakfast or lunch or dinner, they serve waffles all day. This is the place to go. They were absolutely amazing. It made everybody happy. Definitely hit the spot. And I have a new go-to whenever I come to Jasper. After we finished up, we decided to hit a couple stores and get, the necessities. And then we were back on the road to our next hike. Our next stop really isn't so much a hike as it is just a beautiful stop with a little bit of walking around. It's at the Cascade Falls, and it absolutely has to be on your list. It's perfect for the whole family and just adds to the drive. Say, come give me a kiss, birdie. We just got to at the Cascade Falls. This is a beautiful waterfall in the summer. In the winter, it's a whole different kind of beautiful. The waterfall is mostly frozen over, or at least it should be. With how warm it's been here, I don't know, maybe there'll be a little bit of water, not sure. But either way, it's a really beautiful spot. It's right off the freeway, maybe 30 minutes south of Jasper. So while doing the Icefields Parkway drive, this is a really, really good stop, especially good for families.
Hi, Fox. Hello. Hi.
We just got to Sunwapta Falls. It's another quick pull off to a really beautiful waterfall that will look different this time of year, but beautiful nonetheless. Sunwapta Falls is located just 20 to 30 minutes south from Athabasca Falls, and it's another great stop with only a couple minute walk from the parking lot to this incredible view. After taking in the view and stretching our legs, it was back in the car, this time heading up to the Columbia Glacier. I was pleasantly surprised with the conditions that we got. The snow is beautiful, but normally this part of the pass is crazy windy, and it was surprisingly calm. So it was a beautiful addition to our day. As soon as we hit the road again, Asher was out. It's crazy how much these road trips wear them out. But also, as we were driving up the road, we saw this huge waterfall to the side. And, sure enough, there were climbers on it. If you look towards the right side of the wall, you'll see the two little guys there making their way up. And this is a massive climb. I've never ice climbed before, but I have rock climbed. And this just blows my mind. This is a massive wall of ice. They have to not only ascend, but also descend. Best of luck, guys. It looks like a lot of fun. We just had a good reminder, a good safety reminder while we were driving over the, what was it called?
Columbia.
Columbia Glacier. Someone came up to Amanda because they saw the fuel tanks that they have on the side of their truck, hoping for some fuel because they got up to the Columbia Glacier and realized that they were on E. And the unfortunate part is that it's still 200 plus kilometers to Lake Louise and probably 60 kilometers back to Jasper. And they're on E, so not a good place to be in the middle of winter. We're only 2 hours to dark. That's a scary spot to be in. So when you're doing road trips or overlanding, I always take the time before a trip to kind of have an idea of where all the gas stations are relative to where we're going to be traveling through, so that I can always kind of judge where I need to top off or fill up before going into certain sections that might be long without gas. So something to think about when you're doing your trips. Just, it's always better. Plus having fuel, like extra fuel on the side. Unfortunately, both Patrick and Amanda and us have fuel canisters on our Jeep, and both of us forgot to fill them up. So that's our mistake, because we would have loved to be able to give that gas to them to help them get back, but we forgot to fill up ours too. So we both kind of failed there. But yeah, just a little tip for any trips coming up. We have about an hour left to get to Lake Louise, and it is starting to get late in the day. So at this point, we decide just to keep on driving, enjoy the views on the way, and go get some pizza. We just got into Lake Louise and about to go get some pizza. One of my favorite go-tos in Lake Louise is at the Lake Louise Inn, and it's a temple pizza and pasta cafe. There aren't a whole lot of options in Lake Louise, but fortunately, this is a pretty good one. After enjoying our food, it was back on the road to head about 40 minutes west to the town of Golden, where we had rented a beautiful log cabin.
What's the code?
I gotta figure that out still. Good morning. Well, we are leaving the cabin. It snowed a bunch last night. It's a winter wonderland out here. It's beautiful. But we're gonna head to Lake Louise and get some breakfast, and then we have we're gonna visit Lake Louise today, maybe go ice skating. We're gonna go to Johnston Canyon, which is a fun little hike, and a couple other things, and then in the day checking out Banff. And yeah, that's the rough itinerary so far, but I'm excited for breakfast. I'm hungry. When your daughter decides to wear Crocs in the snow.
I do the shoes that I brought.
Just get up there. Hold on tight. You're heavy. Oh, it's all those Doritos you ate. Oh. Just in case you're wondering, it is a rule of mine, if there is snow and ice, you have to drift. You just have to. So we decided to make a quick little detour from our route to breakfast, and we are at Emerald Lake. And yeah, this is always a beautiful spot to go, and in the winter, if the mountain comes out, which I think it's out, it's pretty spectacular. Emerald Lake is located just about a half an hour west of Lake Louise, and is a great destination any time of year. In the summer, the lake is a beautiful blue, but in the winter, it freezes over. You get to walk on it, make snowmen. It's such an amazing place any time of the year for some adventure. There's also a lodge right there you see on the left that you can rent. I've never done it, but from what I've seen, it's a beautiful destination. Buddy, what'd you think of that spot? Good. Did you like it? Yeah. It's a fun running on a frozen lake?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part? Playing with the snowmen?
Hugging them.
Oh, hugging the snowmen. Yeah, they were like, probably what, 3 or 4 big snowmen that someone had built out on the lake.
There was like 8.
Was there 8?
Yeah, there was babies and there was 6 to them.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So now we're all starving. We're going to breakfast. I lied again. We made another quick stop at Natural Bridge. I drew a blank there for a second. So the last time I was here in the winter, the river was all frozen over. Because it's been so warm here, it's not, but it actually is absolutely beautiful. Because normally that's all frozen over. The cool thing is that you can go into that canyon or that little slot right there where the waterfall is, and you can walk right up to the frozen waterfall, which is super cool. But you lose all the color of all the beautiful blue water. So now we can see it all with the snow. It's a awesome, beautiful combo.
Saw you walking by today, with the sunset in your eyes. I couldn't find the strength to say what was running through my mind. You couldn't help but notice me, staring with that awkward smile from the other side of Thompson Street. I felt love for a little while, 'cause you looked beautiful.
We finally made it to breakfast after those both kind of random but necessary stops, and we're at Bill Pato's Cafe, and every time I've come here, it's always been a good breakfast, so I knew this is where we had to go before continuing the rest of the day. Just got to Lake Louise, Angel's first time. Can't really see too much. It's kind of a whiteout, but it's still beautiful, and the snow falling is just magical. But I'm gonna go try my luck at skiing. We were just talking, or skating. My goodness. We were talking about it. I've always figure skated growing up. I got these skates, these hockey skates last year. And I'm not very good at them yet. It's just very different than figure skates. So I told her she can't laugh at me, even though she probably will.
No promises.
So we'll see how I do.
Avalanche. Uh-oh, Kira.
You're crazy, dude. Like I said, I'm really not very good at this, especially when the ice is all covered in 2 inches of snow and it's bumpy, but it's fun. Although I don't think that baby's having any fun though. He's not enjoying the cold. It's beautiful though. So we just pulled up to Morant's Curve, and this is a really popular spot to see the train come through the beautiful S-curves. Normally, there'd be a whole beautiful mountain backdrop, but because of this beautiful snow we're getting, we see no mountains, but it's really pretty with the falling snow.
Yeah, there's something wrong. Oh no, we'd have to be because of one of these.
So we waited around for an hour and a half. Fortunately, there were some guys over here that worked for the railroad, And after hearing a couple calls just recently, it sounds like they're having some issues on the track somewhere. So we could be waiting here for a while. So we decided to give up, and we're gonna head on to our next spot. I think we're going to Johnston Canyon to do a little hike. So we just got to Johnston Canyon, and the kids both fell asleep like 10 minutes before we got here, which is always how it works. So Angel and them were back there letting the kids sleep. They needed the naps. And then I'm joining the rest of the gang. And we're gonna go see this cool canyon. Johnston Canyon has something for everybody. We decided to go to just the lower falls, which is roughly only an hour round trip and about 1.2 kilometers each way. My favorite part are these suspended catwalks that guide hikers up to the lower and upper falls. The views from them are just fantastic. Skills right there. After we finished up the hike, we were back in the car to head to downtown Banff. And hey, only a couple hours late, there's the train. Downtown Banff is definitely an experience. There are so many shops, lots of great restaurants. It's definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. For a late lunch, we decided to check out the Banff Avenue Brewing Company. I love breweries because they usually have a good variety of food and some good beer. Full glass, ma'am.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I want full.
Oh. Okay, sorry, no need to get rowdy.
So the Canadian got poutine.
When in Canada.
And the American got nachos.
For you.
Next, we did some window shopping. Amanda imagined what it'd be like to wear that suit since they don't actually sell it, which is really weird. So we left Banff and had a little fun change of plans to get back to our cabin. Unfortunately, Highway 1 that goes between Lake Louise and Golden, between Lake Louise and Golden, is closed for the next couple of hours at minimum. We're not sure if it's because of an accident or snow, not really sure. So we're having to go way south through Kootenai National Park and then way back north to get up to Golden. So it's gonna be a little bit later of a night to get back to our cabin, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that kind of thing happens this time of year. Also, good reminder, when things like that happen, make sure your gas tank is full, which ours is. Fortunately, the other route was open, even if it was way longer, but the conditions were not great. The worst of it I didn't film, for obvious reasons, but for so long I was staring at the front corner of my hood, just watching that sideline, that and using the rumble strip to figure out where the road was. It was horrible. But we took our time. We both have good vehicles with good tires, which is super important for doing trips like this, and we made it through just fine. And after that 3-hour detour, we were finally back onto a familiar road, almost back to our cabin. Finally, after a 3-hour detour, we made it back to the cabin, safe and sound. So now we're gonna go inside and go to bed because we're all very tired. It's been a really fun but long day. So, random story here. For some reason, when we're traveling, I tend to dream more often. I don't know why. Last night's dream, I don't remember all the details, but I remember saving a whale. I don't remember how, but I saved a whale that needed saving apparently. And then I went off roading, all on the same day. So I'm very productive in my dreams. We're just packing up the car, getting ready to head out. So yeah, we're gonna go grab some breakfast. And then I don't know if we're making any stops along the way home yet. We have about a 9.5-hour drive. Not really sure what to expect as far as weather. I'm just kind of leaving it open and expecting anything. But so we're kind of getting an early start, just in case we do hit any bad weather like we did last night. We'll be, a little bit more prepared for it. What you doing?
This cabin really was amazing, even though we didn't get to enjoy it as much as we wanted because of last night's drive. But it was still a really nice stay, and this is a spot I will definitely come back to.
So we saw a van that was pretty stuck in some deep snow, so we turned around and we're gonna go see if we can give them a hand.
I sound like the buddy from Zootopia. Judy Hopps.
So we drove up, offered to help. They were actually getting ready to go for a little backcountry snowboarding and didn't seem all too concerned about it. So they declined our assistance. That's fine. We offered.
I honestly love to help others whenever I see them in trouble. I feel like I've been blessed to have the vehicle and the setup that I do, and that it's kind of a duty that I take pleasure in helping others get unstuck. And I get to use the gear that I put a lot of money into. And after a mix of crazy, snowy, blizzardy conditions, we are finally down out of the snow in sunshine as we approach the border. We made it over the border in a breeze, and our very first stop we had to make was at a car wash. It's so important after driving around Canada in the winter to make sure you spray off all that salt and grime from all those roads up there to hopefully prohibit any rust. I do want to thank you so much for watching this trip of ours to Canada. I hope it inspires one of your own, and make sure to like and subscribe and come back to see where we go next.
Oh, that's a cute angle. I'll stop and post that, please. I look like an alien.
Maybe you are an alien.
Maybe I am. Bee-boo. Oh, I have a lot of unblended blush. I look like a chicken.
You are a chicken.
My name is Chicken. Why do I look like that?